Hi, I'm Erin Bradrick, Senior Counsel at NEO Law Group in San Francisco. In this video, we'll be talking about drafting the initial bylaws of a nonprofit. The bylaws should be thought of as a reference manual, something that the directors, officers, and staff can look to in operating the organization. Because of the important role that the bylaws will play in the organization's governance, it's important that they're carefully drafted, keeping in mind the needs of the particular organization. In general, bylaws can contain any provision that's not in conflict with the law or the organization's articles of incorporation. Here are a few things to keep in mind when drafting the initial bylaws. Number 1, although having a voting membership structure as opposed to a self-perpetuating board may be appropriate for some organizations, it may also create additional complications and costs that organizations, and particularly charities, may want to avoid. Number 2, the directors have power to act with respect to the nonprofit collectively and not each in their individual capacity. Number 3, think about how you want your directors to be selected. Will they all be elected by the board, or will some directors be designated by another individual, or automatically be directors by virtue of serving in another position? Number 4, generally, not all officers are or are required to be directors, and vice versa. Number 5, make sure that your officer job descriptions accurately reflect the roles they will actually be carrying out. Number 6, think about what percentage of the directors you want to require to approve an action in order for it to be taken, and whether there are any actions that you want to require a higher majority for. Number 7, decide whether to maximize indemnification protections for directors and officers, and possibly employees and other agents of the corporation. Finally, we generally recommend avoiding incorporating lengthy external meeting procedures, such as Robert's Rules of Order, or other cumbersome requirements into the bylaws unless required by law. If required procedures aren't followed, it may create an opportunity for a disgruntled individual to challenge the legitimacy of board actions. It's also important to note that the legal requirements that apply to nonprofits vary from state to state, and each organization should ensure that it complies with all laws that apply to it based on its jurisdiction or state of incorporation. For this reason, it may be helpful to consult with a local attorney when drafting your bylaws, and organizations should be wary of using the bylaws of another organization, which may not have been legally vetted or may have been drafted with the laws of another state in mind. We hope that this has been helpful, and stay tuned for our next video on tips for nonprofits.